Alright everyone, it's time for another step in the brave struggle against censorship and boringness a la the soccer moms. Link in the description to Dissentwatch. It's an interesting website. I was fronted this the other night by I won't use the user's name because, you know, Twitter has a problem with off-site behavior and this site is edgy. Trigger warning, if you go to this site, it's edgy. It's basically Drudge reformulated. Like Drudge, you know what that is. For those of you who've used it, it's probably most of you. Drudge is a very old-style 90s-esque sort of very early internet format. Matt Drudge likes that format. He doesn't like you know, the excessive stylized nature of modern websites. And so he kept it very much like, you know, late Clinton era website look. And he never updated it because there's no reason to. People still use it. It works just fine. It's probably cheaper. And so he keeps his site like that. Well, what this is it's similar to Drudge, but instead of aggregating from like Yahoo and Fox and shit like that, you know, the fake news networks, it aggregates from BitChute, InfoWars, Veritas, you know, YouTubers and so forth. I didn't go through and check all of the sites that it links from. I'm sure it's got to be many others. And some of it's very edgy. Some of it aggregates from Daily Stormer. By the way, do I have a problem with this and care? No, absolutely not, because I don't believe in censorship. Here's the fundamental principle. I look at it this way. We're going to have a society in which people can say things that can be offensive, or we're going to have a society in which people can't say anything at all. Because some turd is going to get offended by whatever you say. And when you try to say, well, it's just a little bit of censorship just for the extreme stuff, that's not what I've seen. What I've seen is people increasingly on the margins of what would be considered extreme getting kicked off various platforms. The problem is when you do that, each successive step whittles down that edge a little bit more. The problem is that humans have an evolutionary tendency to try to find problems and solve them. This then gets hijacked by corporations and by the dishonest and malevolent to try to screw their independent competitors. So the lie is that there's a problem online with extremism and fake news. We need to get rid of these things. The reality is there is no such problem. The reality is that they've got a problem with independent content creation eating away at the profitability of their corporate partners. Big tech's corporate partners. Those corporate partners, big tech itself doesn't give a fuck. Google does not give a shit what you say and what it aggregates. They've made it clear time and time again for a decade they don't give a fuck. What they do care about is that a bunch of corporations spurred on by a bunch of pink-haired freaks are going to jump down their throats if they do serve that material. And so they are getting steadily more and more censored. Now, will Dissentwatch make it? Because we've seen websites get booted off and harassed offline by lynch mobs of witch hunters. I don't know. It could be that that tomorrow it gets, you know, Cloudflare abandons it or something. I hope they're not using Cloudflare because that's a vulnerability on a lot of sites. Maybe, though. The alt-tech sites are getting better at safeguarding themselves. Like, they tried to kick Gab off of the visible internet. It's still there. They tried to destroy Minds. It's still there. BitChute's still doing just fine. By the way, I'm now the second person on the platform to hit 61,000 subscribers. I think BPS is very close, and InfoWars is in a close fourth place now. They've clocked in, I think, 52,000 now. The site is rapidly growing. Some people have decided to pretty much abandon other sites for it. Like Ramsey Paul has said, man, primarily he's now a bit shooter. He's going to upload things onto YouTube. Everything else, like all the old archival material, thousands of videos, just BitChute. Over time being migrated there. New content will be migrated there after a brief time on YouTube. That is, by the way, a problem. If you don't continuously upload new material, your views dry up on YouTube now because older material is no longer searchable the same way it was. They've changed the tagging system, the algorithms and stuff. Like last night I was searching for some obscure material that I uploaded years and years ago, for example, couldn't find it. Literally, unless you have specific channel names or very, very specific tags or something in mind. Unless you have like a broadsheet somewhere with the actual title, good luck. Nobody will ever know it exists. Shouldn't even be. I mean, YouTube might as well take the bottom 90% of content, just wipe it off the platform, and then you know, algorithmically non-demote the rest of the material. They might as well just throttle the amount of videos on the site because you can't find them anyway. You can't even find them through filters anymore. All the tips and tricks that you used to be able to use to get around the algorithmic censorship no longer work either. I think, didn't Google Images, just the other night, didn't they remove the ability to search for images of exact sizes for some reason? and they're thinking it's probably for some political reason, like to stop memes of celebrities or something. I don't know. There's something's afoot. There's a reason Microsoft keeps urging me to use like apps I don't want to use whenever I want to open things. Yes, I want my gaming computer to be a smartphone. That's really what I had in mind. You know, the first problem was using Microsoft, I suppose. I guess next time I got to pay someone to install Linux or something like that. Dissentwatch, I think, is valuable, though. It's like when someone like Holt has a problem with me, they're like, well, you may not be an extremist, but you talk to extremists. You don't want to ban extremists. You even shout out extremists, like the time that you shouted out Varg or Ramsey Paul or Mark Collette. Yeah, because they're the ones being censored, dude. You know, when leftists get censored, I defend them too. Hassan Piker's an extremist. Hassan Piker, Hassan America Deserve 9/11 Piker. Yeah, there's no fanaticism there. The self-proclaimed socialist working for the Young Turks. Nothing fanatic. Perfectly fine. Hates. I guess, you know, white straight males, wants them to be wiped out. No problem. Nothing extreme ever comes from the left, dude. Mr. Holt. Nothing extreme ever comes from the left. The Antifa is just, they don't throw bottles of piss at people. They're just throwing flowers, and people are just propagandists and wrong. Bunch of miscreants. I don't want them censored either. I want them to be able to speak loud and proud and say the incoherent bullshit that they say. I want you to be able to speak loud and proud and say incoherent shit. It makes my job easier. Actually, if you do that, it makes it way easier. Anyway, yeah, Dissentwatch is pretty funny. Oh, but they're Nazis. No, I don't know anything about the site creators, and I don't really give a fucking shit. You know, it doesn't really matter who's creating the site. It's delivering content that's been banned and demoted and deplatformed. I think that's good. I think it's wonderful that you have a site that's aggregating BitChute links, giving it the same credence that you would normally give to like YouTube links, to the analytics side of YouTube. Yeah, BitChute. Why shouldn't BitChute be just? I mean, some of this content is the same exact shit you get on YouTube anyway. What does it matter if you're watching me on BitChute? It's the same video that you're watching on YouTube. So why? So if someone's like on some blog somewhere and they link out one of my videos, I'm talking about gardening or whatever. They're like, oh, well, here's a gardener, and here's his tomatoes, hugelkultur or something. This is how he grew big peppers. So if they do a BitChute link instead, someone's going to throw a stink about it because alt-tech is Nazis or something? It's the same fucking content. It's the exact same video by the exact same person benefiting the exact same primary party who made it. What's the fucking difference? As far as them aggregating 8 sites, yeah, I can't wait. They'll probably be a hit piece. You should antagonize some of these people that are hit piece prone. That would be, by the way, here's an interesting idea. All those of you who fight for free speech. Just start registering really low-grade, crappy-ass sites and put, like, the most crazy shit on there, and then bring it to the attention of these gadfly so-called, you know, journos, and get them to chase ghosts. Get them to form their social justice lynch mobs to go after all these little sites that'll make like Gab and BitChute and Minds and shit look really tame and mild, and they'll lose interest in that. Lure them away from the alt-tech sites so that they have more time to grow and to gain economic output. It's an interesting strategy in that it could work. It could even be coordinated by alt-tech. There's a cue to Ottman and Torba and Vahi and all these others. You should get together and design such a thing. Start baiting the legacy media. Bait them away from your own sites onto non-existent extremism, and then troll them in the process. Make sure that it's funny and tongue-in-cheek, so they'll take it seriously. The social justice lynch mob is very easily outmaneuvered because they don't take anything with a grain of salt. They don't understand the clown world thing. They literally think that honklers are coming to shoot them, like with machine guns and stuff. They're nuts. They're fucking totally nuts. Start confusing them. So yeah, Dissentwatch is pretty fun. I'll probably use the site as a news aggregation source. I mean that unironically, because a lot of these sites are not aggregated anywhere else. Some of them you can't even, you can't even link them out on some of the dark underbelly of the internet websites at this point. You know, so might as well have some fun. That's about all. Peace out.